Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the Four Horsemen Studios, the Legion's Armory Experience, Red Evil Armory Knight. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging, and let's bring it in. We have the usual suspects here: MythicLegions.com, SourceHorseman.com, StoreHorseman.com, and then the Four Horsemen Studios logo that they use for Mythic Legions, and then some nice artwork on the back of the card. Nice big blister showcasing the figure and his baggie of accessories. Mythic Legions in that chrome finish that they don't normally do. So that's kind of cool. Then we have, this compass looking deal on this side, and then we have this compass looking deal on this side. And on the bottom, Armory Red Evil Knight. And then small fine legalese print, made in China print. Symbols I'm not going to learn because there are no symbols here. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there, and don't give it to babies. And then finally on the back, we've got this nice artwork of this mountainous terrain. Four horsemen in that chrome finish, along with their logo here in that chrome finish, which they don't normally do. And then if you want to read all about this guy, well, it's not really about this guy, is it? No, it's not. But there's some stuff to read, and if you want to read it all, please feel free to pause it here and read to your heart's content. Then at the bottom, we have the credits, and visit MythicLegions.com to see it all. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging.
Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories, and there's a lot of them. So let's start off with this post or handle, whatever you want to call it. It's got some nice, I guess, gunmetal paint apps going on here. Looks like it might have a little bit of wash for the wooden part, because there's all kinds of wooden details in there standing out. And for that piece, this handle, there are two pieces that attach to it, or, one at a time, of course. So here you have this, bladed war club, I suppose. And it's got some nice molded details on it, an edge, some bolts, and looks like this nice gunmetal that matches up with this. And you see this post right here, goes in the port right here, and there you have a bladed war club, which, because this guy is the evil knight, that's the one I'm going to give him. But he does also come with this mace. You can see it's all knobby up in there, and then it's got all kinds of nice little sculpted details right here, and again that same matching paint. So that's cool. And we'll put this back together. So next up we have his scabbard, and it's got this clip on it and looks to be molded in this color, and then it's got this nice gold or brass paint app here and at the end as well, and hard plastic. And it goes with this sword, which has that nice silvery paint app for the blade, nice molded details, and again that gold or brass for the handguard and the pommel, and then some nice molded like leather wrap details for the handle, and the sword just fits right into the scabbard. And you can see this scabbard is kind of an all-purpose scabbard because it doesn't fit 100% of the sword in there, or 100% of the blade in there. So there is that, but it does have this nice paint app, so I think I mentioned that already. So then we have this larger sword, broadsword I suppose, and it's got this nice silvery gunmetal-ish looking sparkly paint app on it. I'll just say that does look pretty good. And then again the gold or the brass for the handguard and the pommel, and then some nice details there on the handle. And it does look like, you know, it's like it's designed to be two-handed, so there is that. Pretty cool. And then here is a belt, and the way I figured you can put this around his waist, but he already has a belt around his waist, so this would have to be an over-the-shoulder strap, or you could possibly use it with another figure. And it does have some nice molded details in there. You can see like leather grain in there, and these gold or brass paint apps for the buckles, and these rivets and that clip. So very nice. Then next up we have this neck armor piece, and you can see here's the post, and I'll show you how that installs when we get to the figure. It's got these nice silver rivet paint apps, and there might even be a slight wash to help these details stand out, or it could just be shadow from the lights, and I think that's what it is. But there is more than one shade in there, and I'm not sure it's really showing up on camera, but in person I can see it, so it might be a very light wash. Next up we have his shield, and again it matches the paint scheme of it matches the rest of the weapons. It's got these nice grooves in it, this paint around the rim, and then these rivets, and then on the inside just basically a handle, which is removable by the way, post and port, and they just go in there together like that, and you can see the nice molded details there in the handle. So nice looking piece. Then we have his shoulder armor, which all these spikes tells you it's evil, I suppose. Got this nice silver paint app around this part with the button in the middle, and then a rivet here, and then some rivets here on the back. And I don't really see anything that appears to be a wash on this piece. And then here's the armor for the other side. Same thing, just a mirror image. And it does have some nice details in there. So all of that's really cool. Let's take a look at the figure, and you can see it's probably molded all in this very dark red color, and then you can see he's got all these silver rivet paint apps going on, a little bit of black in there for the eyes, or the eye slits rather, and then just all the rivets on here painted, and then the belt, of course it's got the loops for a sword, and then that gold or bronze for the buckle, and then some more of that down here in these riveted parts on the end. just nice molded detail throughout. See some of his, I guess, chainmail right here peeking under, and then some right here too, and that's in a gunmetal or dark silver. It doesn't really match up to the paint of the rivets. And then of course, because he's a bad knight, I suppose, he has these types of monster feet. Or maybe it's just to make him look angry. And then on the back side, a bit more the same. Got some silver paint apps in here for the buckles as well as the rivets. And that's on the outside as well. Some clips and stuff. And again, the chainmail poking out there. And then back to those big old clodhopper feet. Now let's take a look at his articulation without any of the other stuff on him. So this one has a ball and hinge in there. So he can look up that high. And he can look down that low. Probably lower than that. Let's see. Yeah. He can get way low. So he's got that. He's got some chicken neck. He's got waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, the arm raises up slightly less than 90 degrees, rotates 360 degrees. Nothing in the upper bicep. Does have a single hinge and swivel at the elbow. So it does swivel around. It doesn't like to, but it does. So there's that. And it will give you 360 degrees worth. This piece also rotates 360 degrees, the glove gauntlet. And then at the wrist, there's some rotation in there as well. It doesn't like to go all the way around because of this piece poking out. And then it's on an in and out hinge. And then the other side is an in and out hinge as well. At the waist, it's on a dumbbell or half dumbbell or ball joint, whatever you want to call it. So he's got all kinds of hula there. Can rotate 360 degrees. He can lean side to side. He can lean back that far and forward that far. So not a great range of motion there. And then let's get to the hips. And at the hips, that is the range of motion of the actual hips. These, they might feel like they're getting in the way a little bit while you're articulating the figure, but they really aren't hindering anything. And the same with this piece, which will unclip and you can just move it out of your way like if he's riding a horse or whatever. So he can kick forward that far, and he can kick back that far. Single hinge and swivel at the knee, swivels around 360 degrees. And it gives you right about a 90 degree angle for bend, I suppose. And then at the ankle, it does twist all the way around because it pegs up in this way. And then it tilts down that far. It tilts up that far. And then it has a pin for rocker as well. Now, as far as that neck piece, you do have to pop the head off. Sometimes you might have to pop the neck off even, because this neck is removable. And then there's where you pin it in right there. And of course the shoulder pieces pin in right there. And move that out of the way. So if you guys will give me a minute, I'll return with the fully armored knight. And here we have the evil red knight with all of his accessories except for the mace. It just won't fit. So one thing I did forget to mention, because all Mythic Legions don't have this, but where the leg inserts into the armor, there... Dang it, come in. There is another swivel at the upper thigh. But again, all Mythic Legions do not have that thigh swivel. It just happens to be because that's where armor pieces meet up, I suppose. Or maybe I'm just imagining that and they do all have it and I just forget. So there is that. And remember, you don't have to put all these pieces on him if you don't want to. But I like to arm them up. So there you have it, my friends. Bring him in a little closer. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Armory Experience Evil Red Knight with the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Armory Experience Purple Evil Knight and the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Armory Experience Heroic Green Knight. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Armory Experience Evil Red Knight, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From the G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Four Horsemen Studios Mythic Legion's Armory Experience Evil Red Knight, I will say this. I did not choose this guy, although I probably would have. But instead, I got the Store Horsemen. They had like a 3-pack blind box of the Armory Experience Knights. And I felt that it was I thought it was a really good value with what it came with. It came with 3 knights and the Bear Barbarian parts for $100. And these guys retailing at $45 a pop plus $10 for the Bear Barbarian parts. Now, of course, the Bear Barbarian parts weren't something I was planning on getting, because I don't have any like spare parts to build a figure with out of it. But you know, it was like it was pretty much a free bonus. You get 2 figures at full price and then 1 at a deep discount, and then you get the Barbarian parts for free. That's the way I looked at it. So I did that, and the ones I got was Heroic Green Knight, Evil Red Knight, Evil Purple Knight. And out of the 3, I do have to say the green was probably my favorite. He came with some extra parts that the 2 Evil Knights, at least the ones that I got, did not come with. Which were up and down wrist hands, and he had some horns for his helmet. But other than that, all the accessories were the same. Well, except for the shoulder pads. You know, the heroic guys get like the standard ones, it looks like to me. And then all the evil knights get these spiky looking ones. And so, I'd have to say the red one's probably my second favorite. The purple one with the helmet design. I don't really care for that helmet design. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So he's probably my least favorite out of the 3. But I still like it. Now, the Red Knight here was the red was a lot darker than I was expecting. It was a lot darker than what you see in the pictures. And you can see how it looks here. This is under like 12 lights I've got shining on the green screen and figure. And of course you can't see the green, but Anyway, so there's like 12 lights shining out here, and that's how you can kind of see how you can see the red. So without the lights, it's not very red looking because the red is so dark. And not that that's a bothersome thing, but I was expecting the red to be a little brighter because of the pictures. But that could have been, you know, lights used taking the picture, camera used taking the picture, monitor settings on my side. So there, you know, there are things that contribute to that. So, but you know, it's not like I hate it because it's a darker red than what I was expecting. It just was darker than I was expecting. In the pictures, it kind of looks very bright, even brighter than this, really, what I'm seeing here at least. But the paint on it's good, the sculpt on it's good, and of course I don't think there's really any new pieces here. I think, you know, the whole thing was made from existing pieces, and I mean that's the whole Armory experience, period, is that, you know, it was all existing pieces, no new molds. But you know, I could be mistaken, but that's how I see it. And you know, standard Legion's articulation, and so, you know, it's nothing surprising here except for maybe how dark the red was, and I'll keep going on about that. So I don't know, but I like this guy. He's my second favorite out of the three, and I don't know if I will put him with the evil stuff. Maybe I will, but you know, I do like the look of this guy. And so that's cool. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content or just help the channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.